Classroom Constructivism. So what is Constructivism? Constructivism is an approach to education that recognizes learners construct their own knowledge based on experience and subsequent reflection. Theories include those of Jean Piaget, Lev Vygotsky, and Jerome Bruner. This presentation will solely focus on Vygotsky's social constructivism theory, or better known as the social development theory. And this theory stresses the fundamental role of societal interaction in development of cognition. Vygotsky regards society as playing a role in the process of making meaning. So now that we've established the foundations of what is constructivism, understanding how this approach applies to the classroom teaching, or rather classroom learning, is paramount. The role of the teacher is to help learners make learning more fruitful by acting as a facilitator rather than an instructor. Educators provide effective scaffolding strategies to teach students to learn how to learn. According to Hornbein, in 1996, designers of a constructivist classroom include 7 pedagogical goals. We have providing experience in knowledge and construction process, providing experience in appreciation of multiple perspectives, embed realistic learning contexts, encourage ownership and voice, embed social learning and experiences, so collaboration between students, encouraging multiple modes of representation, and finally, encouraging the process of knowledge construction. So as the world in which we live continues to grow, so too does the need for integrating content and technology effectively to promote learning. Regular classrooms of the 21st century consist of students with an increasing range of diverse abilities. Listed are 3 ICT tools I think are of particular importance. So we've got Kahoot, Padlet, and QR Scanner. But before we jump into these tools, I'd like to touch on what it means to be a diverse learner. In a general sense, being a diverse learner is someone who may have a different cultural or linguistic background, a different learning style, or varying academic histories and needs. So our first ICT tool is Kahoot, and Kahoot's relatively easy to use. Just go to create.kahoot.it. These are my Kahoots that I've made, so 9.1 HPE, a discussion for 9.1 HPE, and basically we click on the Kahoot, and then we'll just go preview. And again, students just go to create.kahoot.it, classic, enter the game pin. Mute this. Teachers can monitor who has entered and who's sent through their responses. It's a relatively easy e-learning tool that requires limited teacher and student training. It's fast-paced fun, supports creative energy and student participation. So we can use Kahoot in ungraded quizzes, and this can be used to assess knowledge, comprehension and retention after completing reading activities, following a lesson, or to review material from previous unit. If we go start, so 9.1 HPE, they're just learning about first aid. So how should you open the airways of an unconscious casualty? We'll go red. So you get the picture, end game. What I do like is you can use feedback, so students can say, how do you rate this Kahoot? You can go 5, 4, 1. Did you learn something? Yes or no? Do you recommend it? If we go back to our slide, how's it used to support a constructivist approach? So, competition-based learning achieves deeper motivation for students to increase performance, stimulating recall, which provides opportunities for learners to support their short-term memory, recall, and metacognition abilities. Students can also create their own Kahoot quizzes, which then can be used to study. This further encourages curiosity in students and creates the impression that students are in control of their own learning. Kahoot can also be used to create discussions and surveys. This can provoke responses from students related to opinions and beliefs with no right or wrong answers, further encouraging students' ownership of their voice. Finally, Kahoot provides an engaging classroom environment that supports learning and adds an active participation by prompting thoughtful classroom dialogue. So how's it used to support diverse learners? We've got real-time feedback. The time can be extended for those who suffer from reading and writing difficulties. Students show knowledge as they don't have to use writing skills, but rather answer multiple choice questions. We've got auditory and visual tools. And for those students who continue to struggle, we can allow to use notes and other materials. So how is it used safely, responsibly in a secondary classroom environment? Well, it invites all types to participate fully, allowing anonymous responses. Kahoot increases student engagement by appealing to all students, even those who are introverted. Using Kahoot safe and responsibly is easy as all learners participate by using a code to enter. Educators therefore know how many students have signed in and given their responses. So Padlet is our next ICT learning tool. And what is Padlet? It's a free online tool that is best described as an online notice board where both students and teachers can use Padlet to post notes on a common page. If we jump here, so these notes can be links, videos, images, and document files. Here you can see I've posted homework for Year 9 HPE students. So identify the components of fitness and tests involved relevant to the sport of AFL. And here's each student's contribution. We jump back to our dashboard, 10-1 HPE. Padlet, it can be used for an assessment task, exit question, brainstorm activity, classroom seating plan. One thing I do like is the fact that you can share it. So you can share it with parents and say, hey, look, this is what Tim did in his assessment task. I think it's pretty cool. Tablet can be used to strengthen the learning of students at the start or the end of a lesson, to develop application of knowledge and skills in literacy, numeracy, and ICT, further developing positive attitudes towards learning. If we jump back, what does or how does Padlet support a constructivist approach? So we've got students learn how to learn by thinking critically and creatively, challenging questions and assumptions of their own and others. Extending their knowledge, students are asked to make connections between what they already know and new information acquired. Padlet emphasizes the need to demonstrate collaborative learning in classroom discussions, while students create positive opinions and beliefs. Padlet can be used as a cooperative learning tool, helping students further develop problem-solving skills. Educators can structure activities in a manner that provide for an active learning, followed by reflection, discussion, independent learning, and collaborative learning. So how can it be used safely, responsibly in a secondary classroom environment? So we can change the privacy settings to public or private, teacher collaboration, so you can talk to your peers. You can moderate all notes before they appear, and participation again is monitored so you can see who has responded to the questions or who has handed in their assignments. So for the last ICT learning tool, I've decided to go with something different. I've gone with the QR code scanner. It's adaptable. You can use it for many different things. It works the same way as a barcode does at a supermarket. So it's machine scannable, and being that every student has access to a smartphone these days, can be used throughout the classroom for a number of functionalities. So all you got to do is go to www.the-qrcode-generator.com. I've typed in Chromium process. I've found a URL that suits. How can this be used to support a constructivist approach? We can use it in individual and cooperative learning. We can use it to facilitate engagement. It enhances real-world problem-solving skills. Students become active participants by searching for answers. And in a cooperative environment, students share knowledge with their peers. So how can it be used to support diverse learners? Well, as we've mentioned, in cooperative learning, we can pair low-level thinkers with higher-order thinkers, and this can allow high achievers to further progress their knowledge by elaborating. We can use an activity called geocaching or fitness caching, where we place these codes around the school, and children are given a map to try and find these and complete an activity. And again, the same thing. So they're given this code, scan the code, go to the website, and determine what best fits the scenario. For this type of activities, it's great for those students who suffer from ADD, as the movement allows for a greater supply of oxygen to the brain. For ESL students, they have the opportunity to read, listen, and watch to further their understanding. And as we know, students' learning varies greatly, so the QR scanner allows for those who are verbal, visual, rhythmic, and practical. So how can we use this tool safely, responsibly in a secondary classroom environment? So we can allow only one phone accessible during group activities. The teacher may choose who uses the phone. And in group activities such as the geocaching activity, time limits may also be enforced, and consequences may also be enforced for those students who are not using their phones productively.